Hello everyone, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing two main topics, and that is premature puppies as well as fading puppy syndrome. I'm so happy and so grateful that with the 3 litters that Nala has had thus far, 30 puppies altogether, that we have had neither of these issues, and we've had neither major issue or cause of concerns so far. But not to say it will never happen, and not to say it won't happen to somebody else. And I just would like for you guys to be aware of the signs and symptoms for both of these, just so you're aware. Please know I am not a vet nor claim to be one. I am just a very passionate pet owner, and please realize that this video is for entertainment purposes only, not educational purposes. First, before we get into these two topics, so far Nala has had 30 puppies. In litter 1 she had 9, in litter 2 she had 10, and in litter 3 she had 11. That's just how it worked out, funny enough. She is going to be having her 4th litter now in a few days, and just so you're aware, this will be her final litter if you missed those videos. She can safely go to 6, but for numerous reasons, as we mentioned in another video, I'll leave a link in the description below to that video, we had decided to no longer continue with breeding when it comes to Nala. The fact that Nala had no premature puppies, where she has had 3 large litters so far, and the fact that she never experienced fading puppy syndrome with any of her puppies, we are so humbled and grateful. But this is why it's very important prior to breeding to get both mother and father, if you have any intent or interest in breeding, either or, and this, like I said, goes for both the female and the male. Get them checked at the vet, get their health checked, and just make sure everything is fine prior, just to make the chances of either of these less. Now, regardless that everything comes back clear and healthy, please be aware that the potential and possibility is still there for either of these happening or something else possibly happening. It doesn't 101% rule out just because everything comes back clear and healthy. It just makes the chances more slim. But just please be aware of this. And also, if your dog is purebred or mixed breed, this is something that can still occur regardless. I have seen this happen to purebreds as well as mixed breed dogs. So that is something else to be aware of. Taking them to the vet and getting a good clean bill of health does make the chances a lot lower, of course, like I said earlier, but it doesn't completely rule it out. And I just want to stress that just because some people think that the dog is purebred or the dog came back with an absolute clean bill of health, that it guarantees them that nothing will happen throughout the process of birth, that it 101% rules out the possibility of anything happening during the birthing process or once the puppies are born or to the mother or anything like that. The chances, though, are still there regardless. So just be aware of this, be prepared for it, educate yourself about it, and don't ever rule out anything as a possibility, because like I said, you should be prepared for anything and everything that could potentially go wrong when it comes to birthing. That way you're experienced and knowledgeable in it, and it might not ever happen, but it's better to be prepared for it if it does ever happen. I just want to apologize in advance too, just in case you hear any beeping in the background. They are doing construction on the next road over. So again, my apologies before I really get into this video if you hear that in the background. So let's get into the video now. Can a premature puppy survive? If premature puppies are born underdeveloped but otherwise healthy, they will need to be kept in intensive care. Puppies born 5 to 7 days early have a reasonable chance of survival. Puppies born more than 8 days early will usually be unable to swallow or go to the bathroom without help. And again, please, if you notice anything or any of these issues with your puppy, go to a vet, contact them right away. Do not leave it. Please, please go to the vet right away. What happens if a puppy is premature? Mothers often reject premature puppies, and these puppies soon die of hypothermia, which is low body temperature. Survival is possible, but they will require enormous amount of care and often have to be hand-fed since they cannot suckle. Sometimes they must be fed by a stomach tube. So how do you know if puppies are premature? Often these so-called premature deliveries have actually been an error in mating dates or a miscalculation in gestation period, which is the period of pregnancy, which is usually 63 days. So how can you tell if the pups are premature? Truly premature puppies may be small thin, and have little or no hair. Do premature puppies grow up normal? Once the premature puppies have grown up or are a few weeks or months old, they can generally be considered normal for everyday activities and care. However, be careful about their bone and frame, as it may be weaker due to the early lack of required nutrients. Also, be aware that a preemie needs to eat every 2 hours. By a week old, it should be 2.5 hours, and by 2 weeks old, you can feed him or her every 3 hours. So how do you help a premature puppy survive? Just like a preemie human baby, they need extra warmth and help feeding. Often tube feeding is necessary, and sometimes sub-Q hydrating. If you do not have a tube or know how to feed, just try to use an eyedropper till you can get one. Heat is very important, as they are meant to still be inside the mother, which is 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Do premature puppies have health issues? Premature puppies are more prone to health issues than normal whelps. You really need a puppy incubator, and if possible, get one by whatever means you have to. Amazon, I had seen them available on there. As well, you can contact the vet. They might know a local supplier that's near you that has them. Oh, Claire, are you okay? Yeah, you okay? Let me check your legs. Hold on. As you just seen, Claire just slipped and fell. Oh my goodness. The first thing I did was run over, make sure she was okay. I checked her ROMs, which is range of motion. All of her legs seemed very fine. I did each and every single one just to make sure. And the fact she got up right away is also a really good sign. But I'm going to keep an eye on her for the rest of the day. But again, everything seems okay. And I was going to brush her because, as you can see, her coat desperately needs to be brushed again today. But I'm going to hold off just because where she had that little spell and she ended up falling over, I just want to give her a bit of a break. But I'm very glad that everything looks fine, everything looks good. She didn't hurt herself, which is great, because the vet visit right now with everything else going on, oh my goodness. So can only some puppies in a litter be premature, not others? Occasionally, a mother will deliver a litter several days premature. The puppies may be small, thin, and have little or no hair, like I stated earlier. It is possible for them to survive, but they require an enormous amount of care, since they are subject to chilling and are frequently very weak and unable to swallow. In case you're wondering what are the reasons for premature puppies, it's usually bacterial infections, viral infections, death of one or more fetuses, ovarian cysts, hormonal imbalances, injury, malnutrition, a change in environment, even things such as moving, and basically any kind of stress can lead to early labor. So please be aware of this. This is why it's so important to keep your dog very calm and everything very serene, very relaxed the moment you find out that she is indeed pregnant. Now you're probably wondering then, what is the earliest puppies can be born safely? And it's usually about day 57, the beginning of week 9 of the pregnancy. The puppies can safely be born, although the female will usually wait until roughly day 60 to 63. So now you're probably wondering, okay, will they survive before day 57? Now dogs can usually whelp, say, approximately 54 days into their pregnancy, but this is considered an early delivery. So anything prior to day 57 is considered an early pregnancy. Dogs who carry too many puppies for their size go into early labor, but unfortunately these puppies rarely survive. Normally too, any puppies born before day 57, they still don't have a sucking instinct and rarely survive without adequate veterinarian care. So please be aware of this. Now that we discussed premature puppies, we are now going to discuss fading puppy syndrome. And fading puppy syndrome is a term used to describe puppies that are apparently normal at birth but gradually fade and pass away within the first few weeks of life. This normally occurs within the first 2 weeks, but please know it can occur later as well. So can a whole litter of puppies have fading puppy syndrome? So when a puppy has fading puppy syndrome, they fail to grow and thrive during the first few weeks of life. Sometimes, yes, it can affect an entire litter, which can indeed be a very, very scary thing, especially when it comes to literally watching one puppy after another pass away. Sometimes it won't happen to all of them, but sometimes again it can happen to an entire litter. So the signs and symptoms of fading puppy syndrome are low birth weight or no weight gain, decreased activity, neglect from the mother, stomach pain indicated by paddling movements, diarrhea or soft stool, vomiting, continuous crying, and trouble breathing. They might show all of these signs and symptoms. They might show only a few of these signs and symptoms, but regardless, if they show any, contact your vet right away. Do not leave it. Do not wait. Right away. You're probably wondering, how long do you have to worry about fading puppy syndrome? Now, fading puppy syndrome affects puppies under the age of 12 weeks. Affected puppies, known as faders, will typically do poorly from the day they are born, as I mentioned earlier. Or they will do well initially, but then they stop growing and fail to thrive, potentially dying within the first 2 weeks of their life. And again, it's something that happens that's very disheartening. So what does a fading puppy sound like? One of the signs of fading puppy syndrome is a weak, high-pitched cry. Affected puppies may also stray away from their mother and littermates. So what if your newborn puppy is eating but not gaining weight? If they are not gaining weight or even losing weight, please seek vet care immediately. Waiting 24 hours for vet care could be the difference between saving the puppy or not, especially if they have fading puppy syndrome, because it occurs so quickly. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye now, everyone.